Hey there, I'm Keisha. Welcome to the second video in this quick tutorial series on how to get started with Fingerprint. This video will show you how to get the full identification event, which includes the visitor ID and powerful smart signals like bot and VPN detection. In the last video, we made our first visitor identification request. Now we need to pass that data back to the server where we can use it to boost up our account security. Now there's a couple different ways you can send that data to your server. The first would be to use your secret key and call the Fingerprint server API. You would use the request ID to make a events request, and then you would get the full details of that visitor identification event. Today, however, I'm going to be using my encryption key for sealed client results. In this particular case, once you have an active key, instead of receiving the visitor ID or request ID by itself in that first request, you also get an encrypted package with all of the event details. Let me show you what I mean. We've got the same code from before. I have my console log here, and let me make sure this is all fresh. Put my credentials in. And we now see a new property here. We've got sealed result. Last time we did not see this. This is the entirety of the identification event, including things like bot detection and VPN detection. And I can use this sealed result and decrypt it on my server. So let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and extract just the sealed result from the result object. You can get rid of this console log, and let's go ahead and uncomment this so we actually send this login. We're going to send it to our API login endpoint and make sure to include the sealed result. Okay, now let's move to the server where we've got this API login endpoint. Now, just to give you an idea of what's going on, this is just a basic Express server that we've got running in Node. And you can see here we've got this login endpoint. So again, I want to make sure I'm grabbing the sealed result and also passing that sealed result to my login check. Now this login check is just a function that I have in another file called auth. So let's take a look at that. And this is really where the bulk of the authentication logic is happening. So what we want to do here is actually unseal these sealed results using my encryption key. Now, if I go over to our documentation here, we give you a quick example of how you can do just that. So we can pull in an unseal events response function that we can use. I'm going to just grab this. I've already installed this library. I'll bring that in right here at the top. And then I'm going to create a new function down here to actually do all of the decrypting for me. So let's call it unseal event data, and it will take sealed data as an argument. Now I already have my encryption key as an environment variable. Great. And then I'm going to go ahead and just grab this little bit of the snippet here for actually unsealing it. Again, I'm passing in the sealed data and the decryption key. And I'm going to return the unsealed data. Great. So let's go ahead and use this function on the sealed results. Make sure I'm actually grabbing that as an argument in the function. And then I can use it here. And at this point, I'm going to just log to the console what this looks like. All right, so let's refresh this page, pop in the credentials, click sign in. We do sign in, and we can also see what we actually saw here, what we got from Fingerprint. So here we have the object that's returned in that sealed result that we've decrypted. It has all kinds of different pieces of data in here. Are they in incognito? Are they using a virtual machine? Are they a bot? This is, of course, just a high-level view. If you want to dig in more on see what all we provide in that object, you can go to demo.fingerprint.com/playground, and here you can see all of that information that's being brought back for your particular browser or device. If you scroll down, you'll actually see that full response here, this entire JSON object, so you can kind of dig around and see what's in there. For example, we have within products identification data, the visitor ID. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Let's make this a little smaller. And again, that was in products identification data visitor ID. And from here, we can go ahead and include this in our verification checks, but I think we're good for right now, so I'm going to pause here. If you want to take a look and see how we actually use this visitor ID to protect the login, take a look at the next video in this series. Take care.